look at an experience with Motherwell versus Airdrie when we played them a couple of years ago in the League Cup group stages. I phoned Motherwell, they said, oh, Airdrie don't have any disabled tickets available for the away supporters, which I was just, you could imagine, I was on one when I heard that. Particularly with it being Airdrie, I didn't need any encouragement either. But no, so I was straight on the phone to Airdrie, and they then turned in and told me that Motherwell had the tickets. So I'm then phoning Motherwell back saying, they're telling me you've got the tickets and we don't have them. And I'm like, how can there be this level of miscommunication between two professional football clubs? How can it happen? And I don't want to sound negative, but I just think that when everything's so accessible, with all this technology at our fingertips, how are we still having these issues? Now, don't get me wrong, I got the ticket issue sorted. I think I was on STV and all sorts, trying to get it rectified, and it kind of came back to bite me because LTB is 2-0 and I'm coming away from the game going, I never should have a much player on that. I was very angry that night. Not just because of the performance, but just because what I went through to make sure that me and other disabled supporters could have been there. But that's a complete one-off, which is why I'm highlighting it. That's about as common as a roller coaster crash. To put it that way, which I think is like one in like 50, like hundreds of millions it happening. So aye, it's that's the one experience in the last few years that's really made me go. But the main issue is waiting to figure out who's dealing with tickets, and particularly with Scotland tickets. It's a huge wait because I think they've got like one line for you to get through, so you can imagine that there's millions of disabled people in Scotland, and I don't know what percentage of them are football fans, but I'd imagine it's quite a bit. So, you've got all of that, and it's even things like concerts as well. Alistair, it's that can be very difficult to get through to as well. So, I think things need to be easier moving forward, but I can never say that I've ever really had any issues going to a club in terms of like relation to people's disabilities. I think that particularly because you're mainly dealing with other clubs' DSAs, particularly when you go to places like Kilmarnock and stuff like that. And I think we're all in the same boat, and I think we're all pushing for the same thing, and I think that's really important. I even look at clubs like Celtic who have put in View 67, which is an elevated platform above the goal, behind one of the goals. Can't mind the name of the stand, forgive me. Terrible with stand names, particularly at other club stadiums. And it's fantastic. They've also got a sensory room for kids with autism there. I believe Rangers also have one, just so I don't get the one half of Glasgow thinking that I'm highlighting Celtic and no Rangers, because you know what social media is like. But no, Rangers also have one, and Rangers are also making huge improvements to their stadium. I think they even announced that they're putting in loads more disabled spaces for people. So that's something that I'm eager to go and cover in the channel, and something that I'm eager to go and have a look at. Yeah, I think people were kind of really accommodating. Like most stewards are like, do you need anything? And then fans, if they see you, they'll move out of the way, kind of let you through. Because obviously, if you're in a wheelchair going through a busy crowd trying to get a game of football, you can be a wee bit of an ankle biter, as I like to call it. So, you feel like Moses parting the Red Sea sometimes, Alistair, just the way that people move out your way. No, listen, people are great. I have had a couple of instances where people have uttered a couple of slurs, and it's no nice, but I think you're dealing with a population here, and I'm talking years ago. This is nothing recent, right? You're dealing with population here, so I think the odds of having one or two idiots amongst thousands of people are very high, and so I don't see that as a reflection on the clubs or the fan bases at all. I think the vast majority of people are very accommodating and very welcoming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, see, I know people have opinions on this, right? And I know some people's opinions are very strong. There was an incident at Raith Rovers where I was hitting the back of the leg with a pyro, right? Now, they hit me in the back of the leg, and I had the option to put in a complaint, and I thought, no. And it would have been very easy for me to do it, but I can see what they're trying to do, what they're trying to add, Alistair, I can, right? But I think when you have people throwing them, people getting hit with them, that is absolutely not on, and these people should be arrested, dealt with, like, sentenced, whatever. I think crazy somebody getting hit in the head with a pyro. And what it does is people trying to fight this fight of safe pyro sections. People are just going to point to incidents like that of the boy getting hit at McDermott and go, this is absolutely why it cannot happen. Now, there is countries, particularly Eastern European countries, where it's widely accepted and it does happen, and you don't hear of many incidents. So, can Scottish football look at putting in safe pyro sections if there's such a thing? I don't know, because I think what you're seeing with the hate crime law that's just come in that Alan McCoy has been very vocal on the last couple of days. I think you're now just going to see, if we keep getting instances like this, you're going to see more chances of a law getting introduced that just completely criminalises it, and I don't even know it's already criminalised. There you go. It shows you how close it is already criminalised, because you told me that the boys from McDermott had been arrested. So, and rightly so, by the way, they should have been. But I just don't think it helps that side argument incidents like this. Do I think it can be done? Yes, because it is done in other countries. Do I think it will happen here? Absolutely not. And having spoke to people at the club who are pro stuff like that, I know that they don't want people throwing them. The last thing they want is anybody throwing a pyro. The last thing they want is anybody getting injured. But if it keeps happening, there is absolutely no way that it's going to be allowed in Scottish football, and they're just going to come down tougher on it. And rightfully so, because you can't have anybody going to a game of football and getting injured. It just can't happen. God, I've got so many. Really, I do, which might be quite surprising to some folk, but I genuinely do have a good few. I mean, Helicopter Sunday, and I want to stress to Celtic supporters that that is not because of any allegiance towards any old firm club that people conspire and think that you have in Glasgow. It was just the way the game transpired, scoring 2 goals in the last minute against Celtic. Absolutely fantastic. And so it was sweet getting that victory, I think, because of the circumstances and what transpired on that day. Motherwell 6, Hibs 6. A draw, I know, but wow, the most crazy game of football that I've ever been in my life. I was there with my uncle, and I remember them at 6-2 going, do you want to leave? And me going, nah, just stay. And it's the best decision I've ever made. And this is how much of a perfectionist I am, right? Do you know what still gets to me this day? The fact that we missed a penalty and could have won the game 7-6. It, honestly, and you think a comeback, it's a great comeback, don't get me wrong. And I had the privilege of doing one of Craig Brown's last interviews before he sadly passed, and talking to him about that day. Absolute privilege. What a gentleman Craig Brown is, by the way, one of the nicest guys that I've ever met through football. And I think you'll hear that echoed through anybody that has ever spoken to Craig. He was just an absolute gem of a man, honestly. So to sit and talk to him about that and that season and that team, because that's one of my favourite Motherwell teams, that team and the McCall team. Pretty special, and there's a certain couple of semi-finals, one against your own club, Alistair, at Hampden Park. I don't even think you got off the team bus that day, but which I know because I've been there. I've been to Hampden, particularly for finals. You go, you amp yourself up for the day, and it's a huge disappointment. And there's nothing worse. I've had that feeling in many finals, but there's the two semi-finals that immediately jump out are the game against Rangers where Louis Moult scored the double, and the game against Aberdeen where we battered them as well. And then there's the one up at Pittodrie where you nick second. I've waffled a bit here. The playoff against Rangers. There's so many memories, and I think that's what makes supporting a club like Motherwell, and maybe even a club like St Johnstone, so great. Is because you never know what you're going to get. You never know what you're getting when you turn up on a Saturday, and I think that because of that, there's always that element of uncertainty, but that element of excitement that goes with it as well. And the only thing that I can point it back to is look at the game against Rangers recently at Ibrox. I don't think anybody was expecting us to go there and beat them, but we did, and it's that again. There's another great memory.